It's the JORRI.
I'm brilliant. How about yourselves?
Yeah, loving it, JORRI, loving it. What are your, what do you come away from that 3-0 win thinking? Like, what are your main takeaways?
Well, I think a lot of the speculation that I've been having the first weeks of the season is kind of, for me, a little bit settled now. I think what we're seeing, and especially what we saw today, but also a little bit in the Carabao game, is that the players are playing on the principles of handball. They're basically they don't need like direct instructions. They don't need direct setups, but they are basically reading and understanding the principles, and it looks very fluent, everything right now. I think so much space in midfield, and like the attacks can come from anywhere. Just look at Van de Ven's run. It's like there's no part of our team where it can't start, where the threat can't be initiated, which makes it a little bit of a nightmare, I think, especially for like a team like Ten Hag, where he actually tries to kind of suss out the opponent and set up in that way. It's pretty beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see for sure. So yeah.
Can I just something came to mind when you were saying that about Van de Ven. Van de Ven having scored, having set up the goal against Everton, doing very similar, and obviously setting up Johnson's goal today. When attacking teams are pressing him now, they're going to have to stop. They're going to have to cut off the space down the middle first, which is just going to open up the ball to a Doggy
Exactly.
or Werner or Son so much easier and make his life so much easier.
I think that's one of the things we're seeing a lot with the players now, is that they're running into the space, not passing right away. So if they have the space, I mean, we saw it from the inverted fullbacks because that was kind of the role, that was kind of the setup. But now you see it from almost any player, just runs into, if there's, because the players are covering the passing lanes, well, then there's a lot of space for them to run into a lot.
Yeah.
And you see that, and when they do that, then they need to scramble, then opens up space, at the other players, and I just, like, they're playing much braver. They're like, I really feel like, I think, I mean, for me, it must be clicked now. We're clicked in now, and it's only going to go up from here on. How far up, I don't know, but it's only going to go up from here on, I think. So, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And what are you, we've been talking a lot about Decky Kulusevski. Was he your man of the match as well? I mean, he's irreplaceable in that 8-10 role now, isn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, he's the man of the match for me. He's a special guy, I think. I don't think people quite understand what kind of mentality Decky has. Like he was quite and is, I'm sure, close to Zlatan personally, and like he kind of has him as his kind of as what can be achieved with hard work and if you set your mind to it, and I definitely can't see Decky wearing off that course anytime soon. He's been single-minded about improving everything about his game. He's the hardest worker on the field. He never ever gives himself or the team any overly credit. You never see him basking in the glory. He's always focused on the next thing. I love it. I love that guy. I think also just Brennan is of course. I think maybe we'll hopefully this period will turn into Brennan kind of getting more resolve and a thicker skin, because it was too easy to get him out of his groove, and really, Brennan, your game ain't that. It ain't that complicated, even though you play some good football, but it's pretty simple and you do it really well. So just focus on that, which you've been doing, and it'll come good, So yeah.
Do you know what?
The vice versa of that, Barnaby, is of course Timo. He is completely.
Oh,
He's
bless him.
in a meltdown moment right now, and I don't know what's better to get him out there and get him over the hump, or to shield him a little bit and give him a little bit, get him away from the pressure a little bit. I mean, I would almost start like Spence or Mikey Moore, instead of Timo at this point. I don't think it would be. I don't know. I mean, at 2 months, because also I just hope once Timo,
Yeah.
gets that one-on-one goal, and then we can, stop thinking about, or he can stop thinking about it. For me, the value of Timo isn't that one-on-one, even though we would love to see him score that. The value of Timo is running in behind, is stretching the teams, is creating space for the other players and so on. And he does that, but I feel even that and especially his passing, he's even starting doubting that, So he's having a really bad moment. But I would appeal to the fan base to get off his back and just let him find his way,
I agree. I was just thinking, especially when you were talking about Brennan Johnson getting a thicker skin and, just us getting him in the positions where he does best. One thing that I think is a real shame is that a player who I think could have really done brilliantly under Ange Postecoglou if he was able to get on the pitch and have Ange build his confidence back up was Ryan Sessegnon, because he reminds me of Johnson in so many ways, in that what he was brilliant at was getting, when he was fit and confident, is getting a yard past his defender and putting in a brilliant cross across the box on the floor, and then also kind of getting separation and getting a good shot off. And it's just kind of gutting that we've ended up giving him away for free, I think, because he was just so unfit.
At some point, you got to cut your losses. Another example I could give you, which was not like who was really kind of had nerves of steel and did give us quite a bit of joy when he played, was Lamela, but he almost never played. And at some point, having a squad space taken up with such an inconsistent player is kind of expensive. It's costly to do that. So I'm all right. But I agree. I mean, we all saw glimpses of his potential, but I don't know if Sess is ever gonna get that confidence back. He's been so injured for so long, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think, I might be wrong, but I don't think he's played for Fulham since he's got there, really. But anyway, let's move on and think about Ferencvaros on Thursday and Brighton on Sunday. I've been asking people, so I'll ask you, JORRI. Can we make it 6 in 6 before the international break?
Yes, for sure. I think I would be. I mean, of course, anything can happen, but at this moment, the trend is that we're going to win both of these games. So yeah,
I love that confidence, Barry.
Look, absolutely. I think, it depends what they're going to do. I guess Ben Davies and Archie Gray, a Bergvall, Mikey Moore, or a Sarr. There'll be a lot. I think there'll be a lot of rotation for Thursday. But look, I don't see why there's any reason why not. Right? We need to. I think we need to.
Don't you think the general feeling in the squad is going to rub off? Even the kind of the fringe players that are not playing the league games and so on. Don't you think they'll get some confidence and some?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Sarr came on and you saw there was he was driving, he had that engine in with him, and he got that assist straight away. And I think what we've never had in the last few years is we've never had competition. We haven't had anyone pushing someone else,
exactly.
And now we've kind of got that, right, because we saw what happened on Thursday just gone. We saw what happened with the players that came back in, and we should see it again for the next game, that they all can see what we're doing. It's creating that vibe, and the last 3 or 4 seasons we had a great 11. That's all we had. I don't think we have a great squad yet. There's still some work to do, but the players are chomping at the bit. And if you look at Maddison, you saw how Bergvall started in pre-season, and everyone was probably saying if Maddison carries on, Bergvall's going to start ahead of him. He didn't start the season amazingly well, and the last 2 or 3 games he's really stepped it up. And it's the same with Adogi, even Spencer's surprised some people when he's come on the last few games. He hasn't, he's surprised me. I didn't think that he was, a player that was going to come back and maybe he was done under Ange, and he's come back. He scored the goal against Coventry. He's come on and got an early yellow card today and has looked really good. Bentancur, Basuma, you could slide either one in. It's not a one or the other. You could, no. there's that buzz that Ange has created and the players are creating that if you don't perform, there's someone there now that's going to come on and perform, right?
Exactly, and especially like Spence, I feel like we should like this whole idea that he's not that he's on the fringes. I think it should be put to bed now, because he's shown enough now that he should definitely be the second choice in the fullback role, probably on both sides, to be honest. And also just like I was saying before, like even if Timo keeps having these troubles and Sonny's not back, I would even consider him as a winger, But I think just like one exception maybe in this game was I felt like Bergwall was probably too hyped for the game or something. He didn't look like himself,
I was just about to ask you about that.
He's coming in at Old Trafford and stuff like that. He'll probably got a little bit too wound up by that, I think.
And also because he was taken off so early in the week,
Yeah,
I think
exactly,
he was trying things that I don't think he would usually try.
No, he was too, he was overcompensating a little bit there, but he's fine, and I have no worries about him.
He'll start on Thursday, won't he?
Yeah, I'm sure. I certainly hope so. That would be the ideal thing. But
all right, JORRI,
guys, it's clicking. I think it's clicking. So upwards and onwards.
I was just going to ask one thing, JORRI. It looks to me like you're in the office. What are you doing in the office on a Sunday?
Well, it's my refuge. If I'm going to have any peace from the family and talk to you guys, this is a good place to be. So yeah.
Enjoy a nice glass of wine tonight, JORRI.
No wine today, I'm afraid. I'm all out. So yeah.
You're all out.
He
okay.
completed wine.
Yeah.
He's out of wine. Someone send JORRI some wine.
Yes.
JORRI, we'll speak to you after the Ferencváros game or Brighton or both. Have a great rest of your
Take care,
day.
guys.